again, this is Dr. Ariel Policano with our weekly Genius Support Call, welcoming you all and getting your questions today. So send in your questions and we'll talk about new and upcoming changes to the Genius Insight. Really exciting things on the horizon. And again, I just want to thank everybody who attended the Portland conference. As I said, our live conference was a great success, and I really want to have 4 live conferences coming up soon. So if that's something that you're interested in, learning how to use the Genius in a hands-on manner, let me know, and I may be able to coordinate training in your area. Let's go ahead and get started. So any of your questions, let me know. If you have questions, let me give you a heads up of changes that we're working on with the Genius. And we're currently working on a quick balance function that will allow you to go right inside the Genius and start balancing right away. Let's see if we can get this. I've switched to the view on my phone. Not yet. Let's see if I can get this on here. Okay, so right now we've got both the iPad and the phone showing. I want to use this because I want to show you a couple of things. And let's just pop right out of the program for a second and get sort of a fake client here. When we get inside the program in the new version, this is what it's going to look like. Let's go ahead and begin our analysis. We begin the analysis in System Overview, but let me call your attention to the lower part of the screen. Let me just work this out a little bit here. Turn this off, and let's go to this one. Okay, down at the bottom of the screen, you can see something that says Quick Balance. I'm going to tap on that, and it's going to start balancing tones that are incredible, and I'll play them for you in a moment. But right now, let me stop it again, and it tells us that when we quick balance, we will work on the high and low items only. When you go into the new version of the Genius, which will be out in a few days, so it's not out yet, you will be able to quickly, with one button, start your balancing session immediately. And what it balances is the top items in the matrix and the lowest items in the matrix. I'm not sure yet if it's the top 5 or the top 10, but it's something like that. The top 10 that are in red, the top ones that are in blue, or basically the lowest items in the matrix. So this has been called in the past, in past biofeedback systems, the healers button. By touching this button, they call it the healers button because you're so busy balancing everyone else, you hardly have the time or patience to drop those items in that you need. And so by pressing the healers button, you can get a very quick balancing, and you can do it for as long as you want, as short as you want. You can do several sessions, but instantly with just one button you'll be able to begin a balancing for yourself. So I'm really excited about this function. The other thing that has been brewing in the Ryan Williams laboratory is this other function, which is the new tones. And so when we go to frequency, shape, and form, you will select the soliton stacked, which is no longer soliton, but it's still got that name, and stacked soliton tone, but it's going to play these very special encoded tones, the sonic signatures, as Ryan refers to them. So these are really powerful, they're really beautiful, and I think you'll find that they're very pleasant to listen to. Oops. Okay. And let's go ahead and let's get those tones. I'm trying to turn up the volume here. I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay. So let's get that microphone really close here. So what you're hearing there are the new tones that will be the tones that you can play. These sonic signatures are pleasant tones that people really want to listen to. And they're the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down. They're very pleasurable, so people will want to listen to them, but while they're listening to them, they're getting all the other medicinals from the frequency. They're getting all of the other benefits of the frequencies that are really helping to harmonize their energy system. So I just think that this is going to make the Genius available to a whole new group of people who maybe don't know what to do or are confused by what to do. It takes a little while to learn the Genius. The people who attended the in-person training were really happy because they understood parts of the Genius they had never understood before. And so we're so thrilled that we were able to do that. But now here's a bridge where someone can start using it right away and then build that bridge to where they may view some online training or come to an in-person training, and they're still able to get the benefit of balancing. So once again, for those of you who are joining us, we're basically reviewing some of the new things that will be coming out in about the next week. If you're new to the program, welcome to the Genius Insight community. We give these classes every week at the same time, 9 o'clock Pacific time, 12 o'clock Eastern, and 5 o'clock UK, or I think that might be the same as GMT or 1 hour behind GMT. So a warm welcome to everyone. We're reviewing some very exciting functions of the Genius, and when you go inside your Genius with the new version, which is coming out in about a week, you'll be able to go to this quick balance button. It says the high and the low items only. With one touch of a button, you'll be able to instantly balance yourself with the top 10 items in the entire matrix that are having the most reactivity for you. They are kind of your, the ultimate place for you to balance, because that's the place where you have the most resistance. And so it's the place potentially where you can do the most balancing. And then it will also focus on the lowest items. So the 10 highs, the 10 lows, you press one button and instantly you're balancing. You just need to record your voice and your picture, press the button, you're off to the races. It's extremely exciting. And then in addition, we'll have these beautiful tones playing, which will really engage you. And when you put on your headphones and listen through the best stereo headphones that you have, you will find a very wonderful experience of sound, and that you're getting the frequencies at a much deeper level. Let's see if you have any questions here. You're breaking up. I can't hear what you're saying. Losing the voice, voice distortion, speech all broken up, sound is better now. Okay, so sorry about that. So let me know if the sound is better. Voice okay now. So thank you so much for your feedback, and let's just do a quick sound check. Just let me know if the voice has indeed improved. And how does the quick button work with the extra libraries? Kate, that's a really good question, and I would email Ryan, RW at Quantum Health Apps, and just shoot him a quick question. Is he including the libraries that you've selected that come up automatically in the matrix? I'm going to guess no, that they're actually not included. So you could ask him that, though. I'm just trying to see if we have libraries down here. It's possible that that automated matrix can search through the libraries that you've pre-selected, the ones that you have there before you hit the button, but I would check. It may also be that the default algorithm only goes to the ones that are sort of stock in the matrix, which is the 27 screens and something like over 800 items in there. So you could definitely check in on that and see what is in there. It's a very good question, though. Okay, the sound got all better. Okay, may have been that my system was waking up a bit. So to go back to what we were talking about, the quick balance button, let's just play it one more time in case you were not able to get sound. Okay, so that's the idea there. You know, I don't know all the details about the matrix, but I'm glad that you guys are super interested in it. What I believe is happening is something similar to going through the general overview. So if you don't know how to get to the general overview, you start in System Overview. You give it one tap right here. Let's see if I can start this up, but I don't think it shows in the in the restricted view here. Let's try to do this main thing here and get the highlighter up. Let's see. Okay, awesome. So going right here to the System Overview, then you give it one tap, and it goes to the General Overview, and that's what I believe we are getting. It's going through, this is my understanding, it's going through all of these, and it's basically choosing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't quote me on that. It could be the top 5, but this is the proposed, this is the idea anyway. Then we tap the general overview again. We go down to the very bottom, and then it would also drop into the balancing tray in an automated way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would be like selecting all of those and putting them in your main hold tray. That's what the quick balance idea is. And you just, at the tap of one button, they're all in there being balanced for that amount of time. You still can do everything. This has a mind of its own. This is still in the beta version. You still can do everything that you want in every other part in the quick zap or the main hold tray. You don't have to do this. You could do it right at the beginning. You could do it for yourself. It's really meant for the healer who's tired. You turned it on. You just can't even think about what items to put in there. Also, it's really good for somebody who's very ill and just really can't even deal with selecting items. So as a result, the person who really is fatigued or doesn't feel well will be able to just select that one button and will be able to balance immediately. So that's the idea with that. And Brucer, let me know how to say your name there. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. How do you save client file or reading succession, please? If the client is in my presence, do I need to use the earphones for the quick balance? No, you don't need to use the earphones, Annette. The earphones are just an additional idea to get a better balancing. You use the earphones to get a deeper balancing, but you could just play them. They don't need to hear the tones at all. Okay, so Brewster had that question, and let's see if I can go sort of interpret it here. Let me just talk maybe about the report function. And I was just working on this today. So let's see if I can go to what I was working with. Couple of things on the report, some new changes that are coming. Here's the standard food panel. This is one of my custom libraries. I can do this standard food panel, which I think is really cool. And then so the person today is sensitive to barley, duck egg, spelt, gliadin. And then we go down to the bottom here and we look at the items in blue. These are the items that they're also sensitive to: grapefruit, egg white, gluten, pork, lentils, egg yolk. And a lot of those make a lot of sense. Those are very common allergens. So we go up here to the navigation bar at the top right, and then we go to report. And then we're going to scroll down, and some of these reports are going to have the opportunity to view all. And we have that in the standard food panel. This is a new update that's coming out in the next week. So instead of just showing the top 3 because they were sensitive to more than these top 3 and bottom 2, we now have a view all function. Tap on the view all function and you'll be able to print out everything that has come up sensitive for them. Now, you'll have to add their name to the report, the date you did the report, unless it's emailed to them. They'll automatically get that and know that it's for them. And you'll have to highlight or point out what the range is. The range here is going to be really anything under 120 or so. So turkey, grapefruit, egg white, gluten, pork, lentils, egg yolks. So you'd want to highlight, take out a highlighter and highlight the ones if you're going to give them the report. Barley, duck egg, spelt, gliadin, and stevia, anything above 650 could be highlighted. And you could, if you're suspicious, you could say, I'm a little suspicious about these. I feel you might be sensitive to these. Then we email the report to them. And what you could do is, I'll email it to myself. Which is Ariel at Awaken Total Health. Okay. And then I could put on here the range, or I could highlight them, or see items below, above 650 and below 120. You could explain it to them. So that's the new reporting function, Kate. I don't know if that helps or answers your questions. Or no, it wasn't. It was Brewster's question. How do you save client's file or reading in succession? Okay, so that's one way to do it, is to print out a report. The other way to do it is everything is backed up to the cloud. So as long as you are connected to Wi-Fi, to your internet connection, you'll be saving it to the cloud. Then when you go back, let's just go to this one. This is just our sort of phony testing client here. We go to View Past Result, which is here. It's taking a while to work. Okay, great. So we view the past records or the past result. So Brewster, where do you want to check? You go back and you can see all of these past. Here's the one that we just did today. We tap on the date and it says, what past record do you want to look at? System overview, body, mind, biofield, the libraries, the standard food panel, and we go back in and it gives us the results that we just had. So if you want to check on the progress of how somebody's doing with healing their food sensitivities, you could go back into, and this is saved and backed up to the cloud. This is really an exceptional ability to be able to save these past records. And I have to give a tip of the hat really to the developer for working on this and making all of that cloud space available. Notice that you don't pay any money for this cloud space that you get with your program, which is kind of amazing. It could have been a monthly for that cloud backup. So that's really extraordinary. If some files are above 650 or below 120, Kate asks, but they are green or yellow, what does that mean since they are still out of range? So Kate, let's go back to the actual, let's actually stick on that record report. So let's see, I said above 650, and there's still one in yellow here. So this is something I explained in our Portland training, is that back when we used the infinity, the sort of the sweet spot for the range, and the algorithm really has stayed about the same, was about above 600 or 650. And then the lows were probably below, anywhere from 150 and below could be considered. Then the developer sort of fine-tuned the system and felt that the most out-of-range items were probably best set at above 675 or 680, and that the lower items were best set in blue below, I think it must be 100. However, when I test people, I still find that anything below about 125 is significant. Anything above 650 can be significant. So to really sum it up, you could hang your hat on the reds being reactive items that should be balanced. That's what a reactive red means. It should be balanced. That's the best interpretation of it. Doesn't mean anything else. We can say they're reactive to barley, reactive to egg, reactive to spelt, reactive to gliadin. And I am taking some poetic license by saying they're the food sensitivities, but basically they're reactive and they should be balanced. But let's take it a step further. If you're a practitioner and you're looking at this person, I think you'd be safe in telling them, you know, stevia and coffee are on the borderline, but you probably should be a bit careful. You may want to avoid them for maybe 21 days as an elimination challenge. Or if you go down here, say like, you know, turkey and milk are sort of borderline. You should probably avoid them for 21 days, but they're not as reactive as these items. So I hope that that helps in your interpretation. So Dennis says 688 or 689 is the cutoff. So I guess it keeps sort of shifting a little bit. You know the general cutoff, so anything that's a little bit lower or a little bit higher than that, you could easily, you know, give that information and interpret that as being a high or a low. Okay. Let me just go back here. I'm just going to I just use a sort of a fictitious client here, just a dummy client, just to do our testing. You know, it's always important when you're testing people is to have their permission, because you are going into their energy field. And so this is just for the purpose of, you know, demonstrating the program. Okay, we'll just skip the voice. Skip the picture. So that's why what I'm saying is that's why I'm not using any of my clients if I don't have their permission to run their profile and I don't want to reveal their personal information. That's why I don't show it. Sharon says, my assessment results are now sometimes coming out of order after the begin analysis. So Sharon, if you're part of the beta test, that could be happening. Any technical issues, I don't really address them here. I can't fix them. There's nothing I can do about them. So please send them all of your screenshots and all of your frustration. Please direct it to Ryan. That's the best place to put it. I can only answer your user questions. If you've signed up for the beta, the risk of being in the beta group is that you may have glitches. Another thing to be aware of is that we recently had a global iOS software update. So if you're not up to date with your software, you're going to immediately notice crashes. So go to General and go to your software update and immediately see that you're up to date with 10.3.2. If you've ignored that request to update, you're going to find that you have glitches. Or if you signed up and downloaded Ryan's beta link, then you're also going to find that you're going to have some glitches. That's the risk of being in the beta group. If neither of those things apply to you, then, you know, by all means, contact Ryan as soon as possible. But again, I do apologize. There's absolutely nothing I can do about a technical issue or a bug. In reports, a window pops up saying the device is unable to send the email in the current state. That's another Ryan question. All right, let's just get to some more of your questions. It takes me 20 minutes to turn the birth date in the calendar. I assume Brusaire is being a bit cheeky. However, Brusaire, you can contact Ryan. That's basically the scroll function. There's really nothing that's going to change. If you were born in the 1960s, 1950s, or 1940s, when I'm doing demonstrations, people always groan because they feel like they were born in the Stone Age. And I do understand that. I feel you. However, nothing I can do about it. I don't think he's going to change that scroll function. But if you don't like it, tell him. There's nothing I can do, but tell him you don't like it. Ariel, do you use mostly solitons tones? So let me clarify again, Kate. This is for the beta version. A little bit confusing here. I'm going to go to those frequency, shape, and form. Previously to this, as I explained to you, I only used the harmonic wave because of its much greater depth. However, with the new tones, temporarily, we've got these two settings we must apply in order to demonstrate the new tones that you hear during a balancing session or during a quick balancing. So that's not changed, but really good questions. I love it. Okay. In Entangled Insights, is it really good to do the lowest as well as the highest? Okay, so Dennis had a really good insight at the Portland training, at the in-person training. So let's just go into our, let's go into today's stress, because that's always a great one to work on for this purpose. And that's actually digestion, right? So that's okay. Let's keep digestion. Let's do, I don't know, something that's lower high maybe. Nothing here. Let's do small intestine. So to get to Entangled Insights, you can swipe from left to right. You can try tapping on it sort of fast. What you do is you swipe quickly from left to right, or you can try just tapping on this really fast, and it'll take you to a new screen. Sometimes it happens accidentally and you don't know what's happened. This is Entangled Insights. For small intestine, let's look for some popular items here, which are parasites. Love to hang out in the intestines. So let's see if there's any delicious parasites hanging out here. So what we do is we bring up the parasites all, and it searches for the parasites. So Marcia wants to know, there's a 33% chance, she actually wants to know about these items here. So there's a 33% chance that there's a relationship between the small intestine and parasites. So there's actually good news here that there's probably not parasites in the small intestine. That said, if this percentage were over 50%, we would say yes, there is a very good chance that these are connected. So what we would do is we would take the top 1, 2, and the bottom 1 here. However, what Dennis pointed out during the training, and this is something that he discovered, is he discovered if he included the top 4 items, more like this. You know, a lot of this, you guys, is your intuition. Maybe your intuition tells you you need to include the top 4 or the top 5. And then you also want to include not just the bottom 1, but you want to include maybe the bottom 3. Okay, this is up to you. We recommend that you can hang your hat on the top 2 and the bottom 1 when the percentage is more than 50%. There's a good relationship between the item you're testing here and the item that you came from, that you wanted to compare. Small intestine compared to parasites with a score of greater than 50% tells us it's pretty likely that there are parasites in the intestine, or there's a relationship there, some type of relationship. It's not a diagnosis. And so then what he would find is sometimes these lower items that were maybe 3rd, 4th, or 5th ranking from the top would come up at the top of your progressive insights. So let's see, this acanthamoeba, this dientamoeba. The acanthamoebas, he would sort of see that there were a couple of them. He said, oh, that looks like that's important. He would include them here. And I've done that myself, so that's a great observation. And then down at the bottom, you might look for similar sort of types of parasites. So the Leishmania and the Echinococcus, let's see where they land if we go to progressive insights, which are the ones that ultimately come to the top. All right, so this is a beta glitch. All right, so we're not getting the highs here, but these are high priority. So you have to understand this is just a test model right now. And high. So we did see some of the ones that were lower coming to high priority. In fact, almost all of them now are being selected as high priority. So I think that's a good call, Dennis. Thanks for bringing that to us to our attention. And so now we just start the balancing. Let's do one more in progressive insights. So let's go back to today's stress, and let's go ahead and test today's stress. There are a lot more things here to sort of test against that make sense. We've got some highs. We've got some lows. Let's see what our lows are. Let's see. Inflammation. This is one I actually did in the class. Let's try cardiovascular, and let's try some young living oils for cardiovascular. So what we said was we have a frequency here that we want to know more about. Let's go to the database. If you don't have a copy of the database, you can download it from the control panel. On the control panel, go to your control panel. It's the rectangular thing you see somewhere on your screen. And you'll see the biofeedback ebook, the Entangled Insights, and the first 6 pages of my new training manual. So you can download any or all of those items. And the Entangled Insights will give you a full database of everything that is in this database that we're searching through, and that will give you a better idea of what you want to search for. So now we're going to tap the check button at the bottom, and it goes through its paces, and it says which of the oils, if any, in this database are helpful for the reactivity in the cardiovascular system. At 51%, we have a good idea that thieves is good for the cardiovascular system, and often there are infections that are in the blood, or in the heart, or just in the arterial system, in the circulatory system, and so thieves is a great one to use. We would recommend you use the top. Let's actually do something else here. Let's clear these all out. Do that. So thieves and peace and calming. You guys are probably, a lot of you know the essential oils. We go down to the bottom, and blue cypress, another one, sort of really good for infections, and maybe good for the cardiovascular system. Now let's actually include the rutavala. Let's include purification. Let's include grapefruit. And let's go down to the bottom and include a few more. Let's include common sense. Let's include celery seed. Let's include angelica. Let's include peppermint. Now we go to progressive insights, and it's like, well, what of these items that we chose come up high or low? So now you can see many of the items that we chose, peace and calming and thieves were up there anyway. But other ones, now the blue cypress was definitely one of the most reactive, but peppermint was several steps up in the blue. We had to go either 4 or 5 up. So we can see that there is value here in choosing several of those from the progressive insights. And now we're doing a really sophisticated balancing for the cardiovascular system. And something that we could have done as well is we could have been sure to actually include the cardiovascular itself. And in fact, where is immune system on this? Well, we do have inflammation. Immune system appears to be actually sort of borderline. There does seem to be an infection, which I was wondering why all those essential oils were coming up, so we could include the infection as well. Then we could redo the progressive insights. We still see a lot of those coming up high. And those items, actually, those frequencies were not deemed to be as important. All right. Are entangled insights personal to the individual being treated, or are these generalized relationships? No, they're absolutely personalized. They're still testing the person who is in the program, the person of interest, and we're testing against their energy field when we do this. Okay, so other questions that you guys have, or questions that have not been answered thus far, let me know. And that's really like what I said, like the new version of what's coming down the line here. And do make sure that you've updated to the latest version of iOS. And for those of you on Android systems, do make sure when new Android versions come out that you stay up to date, or because of the nature of mobile applications, you will start to get glitches and crashes. All right, so other questions or other functions that you'd like to see highlighted today, let me know. I'm glad that the sound has returned to be a bit better. Any other items that you want me to go through, now's a good time to ask your question. And thanks again, you guys, who let me know about the sound. I do appreciate it. All right. One thing that we looked at in class, just went over several times, was this idea of the custom libraries. Let's just get in there and take a look at those. So libraries could be created, ones that you've created, or they could be shared items, things that you've shared with other people. Custom libraries are helpful because they can really help you to get to the root of a particular issue, and that can be very, very helpful. So I have created customized panels in many different areas. You can see them here. You can do the same. To create a customized panel, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you want to create your customized panels for things that you want to know more about. You want to create customized panels because you want more information about something, or you want to test a group of remedies. It's Patricia, it says go over entering frequencies. You mean which frequencies do you mean? So in this particular panel, I've created an adrenal assessment, and it has all of the reasons why people get adrenal issues. And then I've created one called adrenal solution. So once I know why they have their particular issue, I can then create a treatment plan for them, or at least know the kind of solutions that they are attracted to. So would it be antioxidants, or would it be medicinal mushrooms, or would it be ginseng? If it's ginseng, is it Siberian ginseng, or is it Panax ginseng? So I'm able to get through really specific information in my custom libraries, and they've helped me tremendously. You can purchase custom libraries from me. You can create your own. If you want custom libraries, it's a set for $9.97, or that's a set of 100, or a set of 10 for $149, so you can get a few at a time. We also have a way to get 10 each month for just $77. So you can get almost half price if you join our subscription service. Okay, so Patricia has a question, but I'm not really sure what the question is, so we're going to get to that in just a moment. Let's add that, and we can test that. So we've added that to the libraries, and we can scroll down to the bottom, and you can see they've been added to the libraries. We didn't have to go outside the program. We could just test them immediately. And now we can trust our adrenal assessment and see why the person is having adrenal issues. Not too much up here. What's down here? Digestive issues and hormonal imbalances. And then we can go to the solutions for them. What are the things that will help them? So the things that would most help them would be things like liposomal vitamin C, B12, licorice, holy basil, and Schisandra. So that Schisandra at 0 means it's like the most powerful adrenal tonic for that person. Lion's mane and eucomia. So those are some Chinese tonic herb, and then a medicinal mushroom. Okay, so another thing that we did at the Portland training is we did go over entering Hertz frequencies. You must have been, your ears must have been burning, and in fact we named them specifically Hertz frequencies. My programs should all be synced here. Let's see. Huh. These two should be synced together. That is very strange. Okay, in order to do that, let's go ahead and create a category. We hit the plus sign at the top right. So let me go back and just show that. We hit the plus sign over here to create a new category. So you want to create your own category. And we type in, we want to, let's just say Hertz frequencies or HZ frequencies. And then we save this category. Oh, it says it already exists, but it's not in my list. Oh, maybe it's under HZ. And I didn't look for it. Let's see. Okay, let me just explain what I think is happening here. Let me see if I can get up here and see if it's here. Here. Okay, that's interesting. Let me just name it something different. I created one on my iPad and I'm using my phone right now. And what's interesting is I created that at the training, but I haven't been able to sync my library. So let me show you what that looks like as well, maybe if we have time today. The syncing process is a little bit confusing because you have to log out and then log back in. So we created a category Hertz frequencies. Now we have to go back to the category. And we tap on the left side here. Let me just get a full screen here. Tap on the full, on the left side, sorry. And then we go to, once we're inside the category, we go to 0 items here. We tap on that. Just hit cancel. Now, instead of going to import, which is what we do for hololinguistics, we go to add manually. We tap add manually, we type in the name. So let's just say that this is thyroid healing. And what we're going to do is we're going to now manually select the frequencies that we want for thyroid healing. So you might say, well, how would you know those frequencies? I don't know the frequencies for thyroid healing, so I need to research them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Google CAFL. Let me see if I can just get the full screen here. I'm going to Google CAFL Rife frequencies. And I don't know if I can clarify if I can get some wellness ones as well. So then it's going to bring up the frequencies that people have put on the internet. Let's try this updated Rife frequencies. And there's a whole list of them, the CAFL, the consolidated list of frequencies that are known to have beneficial properties for people for healing. And this is Ryan's ad is woven into all of the ads that you see these days. It's really hilarious. Okay, that's not helpful because that's sort of a garbage site. So let's go to one that's dependable, which is this electroherbalism. All right, so this is the consolidated annotated frequency list for Rife frequencies. Basically, what people have learned over the years of the Rife frequencies that are helpful for healing. But these are basically Hertz frequencies. So we can scroll through the whole list and we can go down to thyroid. Believe it or not, thyroid is not here, so that wasn't very helpful. Let's see if hypothyroid is in here. Okay, thank goodness. So hypothyroid is here. Right here. So 2 hertz, 12 hertz, 35 hertz, 16,000, 10,000, 160, 80, and 20. Now the amazing thing about the Genius is it goes all the way up to 20,000 hertz. So it's really quite extraordinary. So now what we do is we tap the add button and we add the frequencies that we want. Now you could potentially do further research, like you might want to look online and start to set Google 2 hertz and hypothyroid and find out why those frequencies are significant. I'm not teaching you about the frequency, the efficacy of the frequency, or representing that, giving any type of guarantee that these are helpful frequencies. This is up to you to research. You could also do the Kroger frequencies. So you might want to look into she did a lot of Rife research. So go to the Hannah Kroger information, find out different people who have done research in Rife frequencies and find out the best Hertz frequency. So you can add those, but you could also add the ones you already know about. So if you know about the 528 Hertz, that's the solfeggio frequency, you could add that one. If you know about the Nogier frequencies, there's a Nogier frequency for cellular vitality, which is Nogier A, and I think that's like 263, so you could add that one. So you could make a very sophisticated and interesting Rife, personalized Rife program that way. And this is a mistake that unfortunately I make over and over again, which is I don't save it. There is really a terrible problem in this one. It's not so terrible. But if you create a thyroid frequency, so don't make this mistake, I'm just going to do 1 here, let's just do 2, I'm not going to add them all in again, is you absolutely must do the save button here. And I just think it should be auto-save or something. It's so easy to forget to save it, and then it just isn't saved and you've entered all those frequencies. So be that as it may, that's how you enter the Rife frequencies. So that's that, Patricia. I hope was helpful. Any other questions or anything else that you want to know about today? Now's a good a time as any to ask. And yeah, it's kind of extraordinary to have this ability to program in specific frequencies and then also to create the hololinguistics. So that's the thing about the Genius, and I really commend you all for being here because it takes some time to really get to learn the program. That's why, I commend the people who came to the Portland training, and I have a $97 training that will take you through the whole program. 15 videos, they'll take you through the whole program, available on my website, which is awakentotalhealth.com. So if you go to awakentotalhealth.com, let's just go there now to show it. And you go to Genius Training. So you log in, Genius Training, scroll down. This is the video training program. It's available for $97. It includes every function of the program that you would want to learn. It's in short videos. It's easy to master this way. We've got every function in the program explained in these videos, so you can learn at your own pace. We just made it available really inexpensively. I've done the program myself. So that's available. And then when you want to watch the replay of these trainings, you can go to, scroll down here on Genius Training, and then many of the videos that we've done over the past few weeks are all listed here. They're just YouTube videos taking a minute to show up here due to the speed. Okay, so that's where those are located. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and those will be available there. Did you talk about the side slide for top and bottom? I joined late. I don't know what the top slide, I don't know what that is. So top slide, maybe enlighten me as to what the top slide is that you're referring to, and I could perhaps, clarify on that. And a couple other questions coming in at the end here. If one does not have wireless, is there a method to get updates via USB port or any other method? No, there is not. What needs to happen is, and I do apologize, I didn't create the program, is you need to go to a coffee shop and get the Wi-Fi update maybe once a month. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get the updates. That's just the reality. There's no USB connection. You have to do it through, it doesn't actually have to be wireless. You could do a hotspot. So if you have a hotspot, you could do it that way. You don't have to go to a wireless. You also could try to do it on the plan that's on your phone. It's just going to take a while. The slide on the side for top and bottom balancing. I don't know what that is. You'll have to maybe write me a message about it. When I got to the report, I got system overview results. How did you get that list of specifics? Sharon, once again, that is in the new version, which is the beta version, and so it won't be available right away. Like, it's not in this version here. It's actually the one that I was showing on my phone. So that is in beta development, and then that will be available soon for your viewing pleasure of those reports. So we're trying to make the report function better and more complete for people who want to print detailed reports, and that's sort of still in development. So you unfortunately won't, I'm not sure if you're doing the beta version or not, but you won't see it right now on your device. So just to go back to that one. So this is the one, the beta version is actually on my phone, which we were seeing here. And so when we went there, we got those juicy reports that we were looking at before. So when we go to report, this is the way you get to the reports. If I can get in there. Report, which is here. And then this does show the report. But what Ryan is adding is an extra piece to some of the reports, which is the view all. I don't know if he's going to add it to everything. It looks like most of them are going to get that. So the view all is in process and will be coming to an iPad near you. Okay, so that's going to be what it looks like. It's going to have all of the parameters. I think it wasn't as useful just to have the few highs and lows to most people. Kate says I can't see the last couple. Kate, I didn't actually upload the last week, but I will. A couple of them, there were so many sort of issues with some bugs. I didn't want to post it publicly, so it's better just to maybe catch up with last week, and I'll probably post it today as well as this week's training. So my apologies, but you'll get last week's. Will be uploaded today, and then you'll get today's training as well. And thanks for tuning in when you, I know you're busy working. I really appreciate you checking those out and I'm glad that you find them useful. So yeah, this looks like it's actually going to cover the custom libraries too, which is fantastic. So when I go to view all, I can get that full report. It will just be up to you to sort of add in the meaning for the person, which is almost better if you add it in anyway. You could then tell them, you could just take out a highlighter on their report, highlight digestion, highlight hormonal imbalances, highlight past effects of injuries, and you might consider EMF exposure sort of important even though it's pretty much borderline. So you could highlight that, and melatonin suppression, yeah, it's probably going on for them, so you could circle that as well. So Sharon, I hope that that's helpful. Thanks. It was a scroll down version from the results page. I do have the beta version. It was a scroll down version from the reports page. Oh, did I demonstrate it? There's so many things that do make it a bit confusing, but I hope I demonstrated it. I hope oh, maybe you didn't know how to get to that. Gotcha. I think I finally am seeing the light here. So yeah, to access it, it's up here at the top right, and then you go down to the report function, and then it will list the results that you've gotten for every panel that you've run during your session, which I think is an amazing function. The thing that makes it so much better is that we're able to do the view all. So hopefully it looks like it's planned to be available for every screen. We just don't see that yet. And I think that that's really super, super helpful. Okay. All right. You guys, I really appreciate your presence at the class. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will post this class later today on the Awaken Total Health site. Thank you so, so much. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, everyone. Sending you much, much love and many blessings. Take care and be well. Bye-bye for now.